Hey YouTubes, it's Von Naya. I'm back with another video. What's going on out there? How you doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. And I'm glad you're doing well. I know it's getting tough out there. It's getting tougher and tougher and tougher. I'm hearing about it. I'm watching it. Apparently, people are being laid off left and right. Industries that were solid before, crumbling now. In the tech world, it's even worse because now the humans are being replaced by the computers and the robots. And the jobs that are out there that are hiring, which are few, very few. Not only are there very few of these jobs that are hiring, but there's quadrillion of yous applying to the same job. And I have never had problems getting a new or another or a job. And I think it was because of my approach, which was, what can I learn about these people? What can I find out about this company? What can I learn about the whole entire, what do they do? What can I show that I have that could be part of that's my personality as is. Once my mind locks onto something, that's it. That's all I'm thinking about. And right now, people are in a position where they have to apply online, and that's how most of these places are. And all I can say is, you gotta think outside the box. There's even companies saying, like, if you applying to this job, if you call us, which is something I always did. If you call us, we're automatically disqualifying you. Like, it's to that point. And it's understandable if you've got a position and you've got 2 million people applying for that position. I'm pretty sure it's pretty annoying. So, what I can say is, you just have to make sure that you stand out. And sometimes that can be very, very difficult if there's 200 of you applying for the same job. So, my suggestion is to find another way in. 1. 2, this has helped me. Sure, I had to leave the industry that as far as like the traditional industry that I was in. Yes, I had to leave and do my own thing to now come back in the way I want to be set working in that industry, which is creative and executive. In order to do that, though, yes, I had to leave Hollywood. I had to leave the game and go into another field to sustain myself financially. It was a gamble, but I'm very happy I took it. And it wasn't like, it was a gamble, and it wasn't like, I'm going to take this gamble. I was forced to do this gamble. This was the only way I can hold on to my career or the industry. I had unfortunate situation. I was backstabbed. I had a situation that wiped me clean. not of my doing whatsoever. But I had to make do with the situation. And not only make do with the situation, but if I don't play this right financially, I may never be able to get back in at any aspect or any point or into what I've spent half of my life doing and striving for. My regret and all of that is not taking this step sooner. I've always talked about this step, doing this. My own business, my own studio, my own me. I always said I would do it and never did it. 15, 16 hours on set. Someone else's creation. That's my only regret. I was always afraid of doing this. And now that I'm done, I'm like, this is easy. It's not that it's easy. It's just that I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. And I just had to change my frame of mind, too. Yeah, I may not be in some bungalow on a huge lot, studio lot. But that's okay, because you know what? I've already done that. Sure, it wasn't my production, but I've already had my own office in a bungalow in Paramount. I've already had my own office in a building or in a little house on the Warner Brothers lot. I've already had that experience. Yeah, it wasn't my production, but that's okay. And that's where you have to it doesn't quite meet yes, I would have liked my own production, to have my own office in the houses in one of the houses or one of the streets, at in Warner Brothers, or your own office at the Red Studio, which used to be the Desi Arnaz Studios. But that's okay, because now I'm starting to understand and realize and want. And to feel like, well, maybe it's better this way. Maybe I get that feeling and that experience in my own office, in my new office. And now that I've switched that way of thinking, I understand. I'm like, wait, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm actually doing it. And I've added some things along with it. Just because I'm feeling like I'm running out of time. And not necessarily like I'm gonna die soon, or I started too late, or the asteroids are coming. I feel like I've started, like I'm running out of time on for a particular window where I see everything coming together. And if I have all of my ducks in a row, cards on the table, when we hit that point, everything I've ever thought of and worked on and put out there is just boom, 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 gonna hit like fireworks in Vegas. So, I'm just trying to stay focused and continue to work on the world I want to create for myself. Other thing is, I'm trying to stay focused because of all these distractions. It's hard. First distractions, the most distractions for me are where I'm like, again, right? It's just revealed this weekend, or I guess you could say Friday. These politicians always do it on a Friday. In Europe, basically, you now need a digital ID to work. So, another conspiracy that we conspiracy theorists get. What is that? What does that put us at? I don't know what we're like 15-0 now. Jeez, everything we ever Oh wait, no, it doesn't seem like they want to help us on that. It seems like maybe they'd rather entrap us in that. Aw, you're so paranoid. Go get your tinfoil hat. A couple years later, aw, damn, that conspiracy theorist was right again. So, shocker there. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of people are worried about that coming over here. I don't think it's going to come over here. A lot of things I was told in 2020, a lot of the things I was told have panned out pretty much the way they said it was going to happen. And the one thing they did say was, because this country was chosen by the Father, and depending on the leadership, that these things wouldn't happen for us, and we would watch Europe go through, I guess, hell. And literally we've been seeing that. I'm not saying it's not bad over here. It's pretty bad over here. The current events, the mass pew-pewing this weekend, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5 different states had mass pew-pewings? What is going on? And I don't know who needs to hear this, but let me just say it. Stop with the crowds. Stay home, people. Oh, well, I don't want, evil to keep me in my house. Well, right now, evil is working overtime. And, right now, you gotta take extra measures to stay safe. There's a lot going on, and not everyone's gonna make it out. Only the people who understand, or the people who are willing to fight, are gonna make it to the other side. What the other side looks like, I don't know. I heard those. Gonna be fantastic. What the other side is, I don't know, man. But what I do know is that everything we know right now is going to change. Everything. We might not need digital ID, or we might have digital IDs, but it might not be at a capacity where it's like, well, you can't work if you don't have it. I think in America, because America is the way America is, you'll always have a way to work around whatever it is that's happening or that's being implemented. You saw that during COVID. And like they say, this is a video game. And I have to admit, I hated hearing that. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? It's a video game. Where the fuck is the control stick? Where's the controller? What the... Like, when I fully started to research what that meant and started implementing what I felt was my way of playing this video game, yeah, things started to change. And I'm very grateful for that. Y'all know my circumstance. I'm here at work. I don't pay any rent. I don't pay any bills, any of that stuff. I I get it all for free. And that's because I decided to play this like a video game. And as in the beginning, when I was talking to you about, how the job market is, you gotta stand out. If you can't stand out, then you gotta go somewhere where you can. There's not a lot of people who are in a unique situation where they have the ability to want or request to stay overnight. Usually this is something a security guard takes up. But, if you negotiate the right price, you're actually cheaper than a security guard. I'm cheaper than a security guard. Just letting me live here is cheaper than a security guard. And it serves the same purpose. I'm here. People aren't going to jump over. And the people who have tried, the cops came because I called them. In other circumstances, there are some people that don't care about the cops here. And, I had to show those people that I am in business about my job here. Nobody comes over here anymore or tries. Nobody has tried to do anything. I think someone did do some graffiti, but I caught him. I caught the person. So, me understanding the problems that happen on construction sites, which is graffiti, theft, and copper. Now, you could say copper is the same as theft. No, it's not. See, tools, that's theft. Copper, that's way different. That's theft and damage, because once the copper's into the walls, it's really difficult to redo that after everything goes back on and someone just cut a bunch of the copper and now they have to extend. Anyway, point is, I understood the shortage of people like me in this construction industry, and I am taking advantage of that. I understand that not everyone has the resources that I have. But see, I didn't either. In 2020, when everything happened, and I listened to the conspiracies, because I've always had an open mind. And the conspiracies were that they were going to totally gut the middle class and bring in the robots and the AI, gut the job force, and use all of that as the opportunity to then change the financial system, because it was already broken, and it had broke to the point that to cover it up, they needed to put on a theatrical show about plagues. And that's really all it was, and that's all it really is what is going on now. It's all theatrics. All theatrics. Even the mass pew-pewing. It's theatrics. Yep. Some people are caught in the middle of it. You could say it's reality theatrics. A lot of you people who didn't believe in conspiracy theories are now like, what is going on? Especially with Captain Kirk. That is awesome. Captain Kirk is changing a lot of minds on both sides. You have a lot of people that didn't join in the celebration of someone's fake death. you have them questioning a lot of this stuff, and you have a lot of people who want to find out more, who are investigating things and making connections, dates, days in between dates, you know, wives that were in videos, wives who were in Miss Universe pageants, who were owned by our current president. Just so many connections. This is one of our Charlie from Sunny in Philadelphia was like, you know, that's waking up a lot of people. Then you have all these comments coming. All of this stuff that is happening now, I was told about in 2020. It was all, and a lot of it is a distraction from the new system that is currently being built right now. And if you think about it, our country is such a dramatic, just so, like, oh, here goes America again. So it would only make sense that, you know, right now that we're going through all the pew-pewings. From what I'm being told, it's because we're separating ourselves from Europe, from England. I've also been told then, in 2020, that we actually lost the war against the king way back in the day. And it was a cover-up to look like freedom. And that has always been the Freemason secret. One of the Freemason secrets, that we still were owned by the Queen. And there's always been this union. And just recently, within the past 10 years, I don't know if you could say thanks to Trump, because really at this point, Trump's just a meat puppet. But the powers that be in this country are like, okay, thanks, we're done. We're going to take it from here now. We're going to go a different direction. And there's this, you know, no, we're not done. Oh, always say when we're done. Kind of a deal. And that's really what's going on. And it's a war that's being fought through money, through wars in other countries, Europe, and Ukraine. This is an attempt to get us into war with Russia. That's all this has been. And like I said, I don't know if we're lucky, it's Trump or whatever, but basically, us not being in war with Russia is really good. But Europe is doing like, oh, well, maybe this will work. Well, maybe that'll work. Well, maybe this will work. Like, trying all these things. It's just like with Pearl Harbor. Europe wanted us to go to war, and the country's like, no, we already had World War One. We're done. We're cool. We like this. This is great. Peace. And the president's like, there's something I can do. Nobody wants to go to. I don't know. If we go to war, everyone's gonna vote for me, and whatever. Nobody wants to do it. So the people that do things behind the scenes urge Japan to come over and to play with us for a little bit. And then other people in our country decided, let's keep quiet about these Japanese, the fleet coming over here. They knew. And they knew that if they allowed the attack to happen, we would get involved into World War II. And it worked. There's plenty of documentation of how we ignored our intelligence, our president ignored possible attacks. Just like, Bushy ignored, reports about airplanes going into buildings. History repeats itself, especially when the people do not pay attention. Especially when the powers that be know the people aren't paying attention. Especially when the powers that be have created the distractions that keep the people away from paying attention. And they'll just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. Because with every generation, there's only a few that continue to remember and keep track of what's going on. So they're able to continue to do this. And they know they're able to continue to do this because even though Hollywood is dying, it's still a machine that's still being pumped out. And now they're just figuring out ways to pump it out cheaper. So, in all, everything that I was told is all playing out slow. It's been slow. It's been very slow, everything. And it's gonna be a slow grind up to 2030. And it may uptick in 28, 29. Certainly gonna uptick next year, 27. But I think 26 and 27 is your time to really gear up, prep, get ready for 28 and 29. Whatever it is, I just say they've got something stored. And brace yourself. If you have a job right now, figure out what you could do extra to fortify yourself in case you lose your job. Sometimes the universe is funny like that. Sometimes if the universe sees that you're not on your game and you're not hustling, the universe is going to do something to fuck you over. Get you moving. Get there, do it before the universe does it for you. It's certainly not going to be as easy as aliens coming from a comet. And see, those are just distractions. See, what's going on is they want you to hope in that. They want you to just drink a big bottle of hopium. Damn, this hope tastes good. Yeah, I think them aliens are gonna come and free us of our bills, our responsibilities. I'm gonna wait on those aliens to come down and help. Create my own business? Fuck that. The aliens. And then when the aliens or Jesus doesn't come and take you on the ship or rapture you out or clean out your debt, and you still have to go to work again. You're like, I thought the aliens were going to take us out. Where's Jesus? And then you're blaming God and Jesus for not helping you. It's like, but I thought they were aliens. Why is God involved now? You know, even the pew-pewing, you know, that's even distraction. It's distractions from everything, as well as the new system. So, I say prep, but mainly the new system, crypto. Definitely get on that. I've told you many times. I'm going to keep telling you, get that crypto. Learn it. Start investing. Dollar cost average in. That's all you got to do. Every time it dips, buy some. Do not buy when it's at its highest. Just every time it dips, it goes into the red. Get some. Definitely do not get Bitcoin. I can say that for sure. Everything else, I'm going to start putting out more videos on coins to get, to look at, because, you know, a lot of people are being hyped projects that just will not exist next year. Things, they're not even ISO 2022 compliant. Why even look at it? Why even enter it into your brain if it's not going to be here next year? What's the use? Why? So, it's tough to know what coins have the projects and the networking that's going to keep them around for a very long time. And it's hard to know which ones are compliant, that when the hammer comes down and the Genius Act is all said and done and everything is signed in and we start on this new system, there's just certain coins that aren't they're not compliant, and they know that, and they're okay with, you know, getting whatever money funding they get from their coins now, and then okay, I'm done 2026. Fully understand that. I myself regretting I don't have a coin yet. So there's no stopping this. Already we've got some guy who started sounding alarms. I forget what country it was from, but I think it was Spain. But he's just like, hey, America's up to something. They're gonna try to they're not gonna pay their debt. And if they do, they're going to try to pay with Bitcoin. We can't allow this. This happened I think it happened Thursday or Wednesday. I don't know. And something stupid happened and it overshadowed that. And this is what a lot of us crypto conspiracists have been saying. This is what this is the move we see, we think, and we're betting on. Before Trump said this is, or was showing the framework of this, we crypto people were like, oh, it's a no-brainer. Why don't they just... And it seems like Trump's like, yeah, this is a no-brainer, yeah. We can just... And so, that is, you know, what we understand is going to happen is why we've decided to get into crypto. Because we understand that, America, our government has no choice but to get in. No choice but to do something about our debt. And that we're going to have to do some maneuvering and some trickery. And it would have to be in a sophisticated way where the world, the whole world would have to acknowledge and allow this maneuvering and trickery to occur if they wanted to get paid. So it's kind of forcing the whole world. But that in itself is a trick, because the whole world is already using crypto. We're actually the last ones that have been holding the adoption of crypto around the world, because we haven't created any infrastructure for it in our country, any rules or regulations. So it hasn't been integrated, and so we're still heavily using our dollars. And the whole world has always heavily used our dollars. So until someone like a Trump comes in and starts to integrate this technology into our government and our finances, one, gets the regulations and the protocols and the policies together for the government, the framework, and two, is willing to just dump the shit out of the dollar, and at the same time as you're just killing the dollar, you're like, I love the dollar's great, the dollar will always be there, the dollar's best, the best in the whole wide world, in the galaxy, the dollar's the best in the galaxy. So he's going out there touting the dollar as the best. At the same time, he's like killing it. But he has no choice. And the more he kills it, the more the other countries are like, these dollars are, they're not what they used to be. And the lower and the lower and the lower and the lower it goes, the worse and worse and worse and worse it gets for them. For all of us. And so yeah, this country's gonna go through some shit. It's gonna a little cleanse, you could say. Because a lot of businesses have been built on all of this debt. And cannot be in business, cannot sustain itself without that debt. I know, it's real weird. I myself don't understand it, but at the same time, I've managed, to understand a lot with very little education as far as finances goes. But everything I've learned, it's all a Ponzi. It's all a Ponzi scheme. And all the manipulation that my government has participated in, fraud in our financial system, our money, as far as like giving us green pieces of paper that just are IOUs, basically. And all the financial manipulation that they've done, the rep, that's all it is. And you're telling me now you're going to go onto the new system so you're clean? You've got a clean system, you're going to be a clean entity in this? Yeah, right. I just see it as crypto's maybe easier for them to manipulate. Yeah, sure, we got other cryptos that you can't manipulate because of the protocols in place for the governance and the nodes, but if the government had its own blockchain that it had control of its nodes, its financial, it just, wrote certain protocols that gave it full power to change the block, to go in and or not even stipulate going in. It had all full control of each node. You wouldn't even need to stipulate. You just, if you control the nodes, well, you can change whatever you need to change. Anyway, anywho, point being is that instead of just printing, now it's just digital code. Just put the digital code in to say that we have more Bitcoin. Just BitCash or whatever the new government, just put in the code that says we have more USD. That's all you need to do now. For me, that sounds like something the government could utilize, can use. This is way better for us. So, it seems logical for me that this is a new system. And then now you have the President of the United States saying, okay, we're going to be the crypto capital of the world. It's a no-brainer. Double down on this shit. They're telling you. They're not lying. They're telling you. Meanwhile, other countries are playing these games, and now CBDCs, you need a digital this to use your CBDC and work. How many of those people feel caught off guard? Like, shit, I should have bought my Bitcoin long time. I should have. I'm not saying that particularly is going to be in this position now with us, but if we're going to be the crypto capital, well then it's just going to go up. If I buy now, well, it's low, and after we become the crypto capital, surely it's going to go up. It's a no-brainer. And the fact that there are people that still refuse to invest in crypto just blows my mind. And it's not even like, oh, I like Trump. Oh, I don't like Trump. It's not even about that. They are telling you what they're going to do. This is like the biggest insider trade ever. Should I buy crypto? Is it going to be here forever? Well, the president just said that we're going to be crypto capital, and he just passed a bunch of laws stating that crypto will now be integrated into. Should I buy some? Yes, asshole, buy some. And again, it's not their fault. They're being distracted. So, moral of the story is, right now is not a good time to not take hold of your finances. Right now is the perfect time to say, you know what? I need to do extra than just this job I have. Or I need to get a job. I need to find a way to entrepreneur a new job, or to work for myself, to not be part of the rat race or depend on another individual for a paycheck. I need to create my own income, my own paycheck. I can stay doing this forever. Just always going construction site to construction site to construction site. This is an easy gig. But I'm not satisfied. I don't want to be doing this when I'm 60. 48. You know what I mean? I want to at 53, 54 be busy as fuck. Just getting gray hair because two of my businesses are demanding so much time and energy from me. That's where I want to be at 53, 55. I don't want to be giving my boss my direct deposit information. I wanna, you know, be able to leave and take off for a whole weekend or a whole week and be able to still make decisions on what's going on in my company from a computer at a hotel. And you know, I've lived that life, but it wasn't mine. You know, it wasn't my business. It wasn't my content. It wasn't my show. It wasn't my, you know. That's the next step. That's the next evolution in me. Is to be the owner of that content and that company that is going, that is generating. Moral of this video is just grab your financial situation by the balls before it grabs you. Alright, people, I'm going to do another video. I'm going to give a little rundown on the coins, what's going on. Until then, peace.